Welcome to Riverbend Talent on WBGZ, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
That's right, just another Thursday night in the Riverbend. That means the Sea Shanty Sing-Along already underway down at Morrison's Irish Pub. That means Riverbend Talent on the air on the Big Z 107.1 FM, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company, Mr. Matt Van Vorst of Macias Insurance, and our brand new sponsor, The Mill from Granite City. What do we got going on tonight? It looks like the weather is going to be great. The Deal is playing down at the night market from 7 to 10. The rain out of here. Salunatics, 6 to 10 at Fast Eddie's in Alton. We got Joshua Grassley and friends playing down at the Wood River Farmers Market. That only goes till 7. They started at 4 o'clock. Adam Harbison, 7 to 10 at the Pump House in Wood River. Jared Henning, he used to be Fredbird. And tonight he's playing out at the Bethalto Music at the Park, 7 o'clock. Money Shot, 7 to 9 at Grafton Music in the Park, at Grove Park in Grafton. We got Wes Olson underway on the back porch at Wiggler's at Holiday Shores in Edwardsville. Evan Shaw underway until 9 o'clock at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. Jack Twesden played today at noon, and then had a burger at Sneaky's. Al Holiday, 7 to 10 at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville, and Peter Porcelain, 7 to 10 at Cabin at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon. We got Kevin Gruen up at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville until 9 o'clock. The Fry Project started at 5:30. They go to 8:30 at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey. And Cole Ball, 7 o'clock at Long Shots. That's at Fairmont Park in Collinsville. Joining us in the studio tonight to talk about their brand new release, our all-time favorite band name, the Poor Dirty Astronauts. Welcome back, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us back, definitely.
All right, and that's them. That's the whole group of them right there. We have with us the guitar player, Ryan Thompson.
Yes, that's me. It's good to be here.
That is you. Let's see if we can get a little closer and Mike, see how that sounds.
Sure.
That's what we're going for right there, okay?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep. One of the founding members, grabbing the microphone now, Mr. Matt Meyer.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
He does singing and plays some guitar. Also performed alto sax at one point in his life.
Yes, I did. Started in 5th grade, so.
And then also joining us, the percussionist, Craig Knebel.
Thank you for having us again.
Did I say it right this time?
Knebel.
Knebel.
Close enough.
I know it's like the baseball player, but he's been gone for a while, so I forgot how to say it.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the members who've made it. Missing in action, Zebediah Briskovich.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Zeb, he's played bass on the other 2 albums as well. And he came back again for the...
Get up on that mic a little so...
He came back again, for the old
that's-
school. We went back to the old gym and we recorded it all in my basement. So he came back and did bass again. And then also not here is Brian May.
From Queen?
Well, same name, same different instrument. He played all the drums on this album, and
Just as talented, though.
but just as talented.
Yeah, that's super talented.
Every time someone asks who's playing, and we say Brian May, they have the exact same reaction. Obviously.
That much volume, even?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's
But,
Brian May. I
yeah.
mean, seriously.
But he was actually a student of the drummer Miles Vanderveer, who drummed on the other albums we recorded, and then Miles also did the mastering on this one. So he's kind of still connected in that way.
So
And then we also had 2 other guitar players who performed on this album. Garrett Ranji performed guitar, and then also Aaron Brown performed as well. So these guys are also members of the band that when we have gigs, they'll join us and fill in. And so we decided, since we're going to do another album, definitely include them and have them play as well. So to kind of get the full feel of when you see us play live, So you get a little bit of feel of everybody who's played with us.
Okay, I know you guys have used other musicians like John Mondine. Played on one of your records.
On the first one, yeah. That was in 2012.
So are all these guys normally who you see when you see Poor Dirty Astronaut, or some of them just show up every now and again?
I mean, our lineup's pretty fluid. It kind of just depends on the availability of each musician. I mean, for the most part, you're going to see us three.
Yeah, at its core.
But, I mean, we have a kind of a rotating roster of people that if, one person can't make the gig, we got somebody else that can fill in that's just as well.
There's someone else here, too. Your mic's on. I don't know. You didn't turn it on? You forgot to turn it on?
There is someone else here.
So
there you go.
There you go.
That guy.
Yeah,
Lydia's dad.
I forgot I was here. I was just listening.
But more recently, we've been doing, like, a lot of our gigs have been full band type gigs. So we've been trying to include all the people who've recorded on the album, inviting them to come out and play, just to have the experience again of, so that people can really hear what's reflected on the album live.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we've been doing some shows at Venice Cafe in St. Louis, for that, and also some local places, Stagger in, obviously, which is where we have the, show coming up on the 26th of June, so that's where we're doing our CD release party.
On the 26th of June at the Stagger and again.
Yeah.
So
sorry to get ahead of myself.
No.
You're right.
It all just goes together.
You were right on. Oh, everything flows together when it's working right, man. Yeah, I don't know. Is it Tuesday? I don't even know. I don't have a clue, man. So
I don't know.
I do have a question real quick.
I
got Miles Vanderveer, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Larry Vanderveer is a legendary drummer around. Are the two of those kinfolk of some type, I would imagine?
Yeah, Larry's his dad.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there you go. That's what I was wondering.
Bloodline.
So, man, so he's got it in his blood is all I'm saying.
I remember last time we had you guys on, you talked about Miles playing with you back then. So,
and Ryan went to SIUE jazz program, so he knows Miles and Zeb and all those guys from there. So you've known them for a while as well.
Long time, yeah. Super fortunate.
Miles and Louis Armstrong and King Oliver. He knows them all, man.
So
what's
Ryan,
crazy is I remember the first, I went to, when you mentioned I played saxophone. So whenever I went to college, the first day I went, and I started playing saxophone in college and did some jazz combos. But I remember meeting Zeb and Miles the first day I was there. They were just as good that day. I mean, they're better now, but they were still that good. Like that very first day I met them, they've always been just like ridiculous.
Next level.
Yeah. So just being around them, obviously, it's a blessing.
Yeah. See, there's people you see who speak the language well, and you can look at them and go, "Oh wow!" And then there's people who aren't even trying. They're just you're like. You don't even know there's an instrument in your hand, and you're just like going off there. Yeah, I got real quick before we jump back into it. I got a question before it leaves my mind for Dennis over there.
Yeah,
Jared Henning.
Yeah, remember?
Did I see you punch him once?
No, I don't think that was him.
No,
that was not him. That was someone else in the Fredbird, and I high-fived him. You always want to change the story, but you can go back.
I saw what I saw.
You can view the tape. It was on national television, so...
I know. I couldn't believe you whacked Fredbird right on national television, right in the beak.
I couldn't believe how much acid you were on that night. But I want to bring up something. I think this is the first we've ever had. Ryan comes direct from Alton Memorial Hospital's operating room.
It's true. Yes. Yeah, shout out all my homies at AMH. Yeah, good folk.
And we're talking like real operations, right?
Yes. Yeah, like, the ones where people get cut open and you take stuff out and put stuff in. Yeah,
I always wanted to know, like, when you cut somebody open and, like, reach in there with something, does it buzz if you hit the side and their nose light up?
if you're doing it right, yeah.
Right. So
no, I don't think we've ever had. He's an RN, right?
Yeah. And he just removed a funny bone right before.
That's why these jokes aren't hitting.
And more than half the gigs we play, he'll basically come right out of the room and he'll be like, okay, I just got out of He's and then in between on the breaks he'll tell us kind of what happened, and it's the most craziest thing you can ever imagine.
Some very interesting stories, to say the least.
For sure.
But he's a trooper, man. He does it all.
Shows up in scrubs, still got some blood and maybe a piece of a lung or something on there. Oh my god,
that's not an exaggeration.
Made it.
Not far from the truth.
That is dedication right there.
We talk about it all the time on this show. I mean, people may show up at a venue, they see the poor dirty astronauts rocking it out, and they're like, man, these guys are awesome, and they must be making a lot of money playing this music. It's all original, it's great, and most of them have day jobs. Most of them have day jobs.
If only that was the case.
Like, for example, Matt, do you have a day job?
Yes, I work as a civil engineer for the state of Illinois for Department of Transportation.
So what's the difference between a civil engineer and an uncivil engineer?
Not very much, actually. It's pretty much the same.
Table manners.
The laws of which they abide by. Yeah.
How about you, Craig? What's your day job? You got a day job?
Currently, no. I'm currently on disability, but before that, I was a hazardous, dangerous goods manager for a third-party logistics company.
Wow, bunch of stuff I couldn't understand, but it sounded good.
We'll just call him a brute engineer.
Yeah, exactly.
I made sure that the bad stuff got shipped correctly, basically.
Okay.
Good for you, man.
Take that, Swahili. No.
I understood disability because I'm around him all the time. So
Hey,
by him, I mean Pigman.
It's just a secondhand buzz, man.
So yeah, there you go, the Four Dirty Astronauts, and you got this brand new release. It's called Outside In.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I am holding a copy of the CD currently for our radio listeners. I held it up in front of the camera, but I'm kind of behind the camera. I have no idea what that shot looked like. Pigpen is going to take over because he's got a camera right in front of him.
I'm going to ask right off the bat.
Yeah.
The question I love to ask, is this a full release? Because I love a full release.
It is a full release.
Oh, say it slow and sultry.
This is a full release.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long play.
See, I like that. I mean,
it runs about an hour.
Awesome.
Just a little under an hour.
Is there,
do it.
And we have a lot of, as you'll see when we play live, there's a lot of rooms for solo. We wanted to put a lot of rooms for soloing so Ryan could really explore. This is kind of his, debut on guitar for us, and so we wanted to really let him go for it, and he did. So a lot of those tunes are like 6-7 minutes long,
Yeah, because you guys got other releases like 1 Foot Forward, that's in 2012.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
And then you had the 2016 release you did at Sawhorse.
Yeah, correct.
And wasn't that like a live vibe there?
Yeah, we
recorded that live.
So the first album in 2012 we recorded in my basement, and then that one we wanted to go, and so that one we kind of did everything separate. For that next one, we wanted to do it all together live, kind of like when we perform out live. So we went to Sawhorse so we could all be there together in the rooms and perform it live. And so we did all those tunes in one take, which is super cool. But for this one, we kind of wanted to go back to the old school, do it on our own again. So this kind of has more of a feel of you're sitting in the basement with us, so we're all there and jamming on the tunes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So on this newest one, you said like the first one, you did sort of the skeleton. You lay down the drums. There it gives you your skeleton. You start laying the layers of stuff around it to build it out. And then the next one, you of course you said you did live. Now smart to go to a studio because it's hard to wear the producer hat and be completely into jamming. So to pay someone else to do that to those circumstances. Now this last one, back in the basement, but how did you do it? Did you do it where you build it sort of bones and start it and build around it, and just try and give it the best live feel that you could?
So what I did was I kind of exactly like the first album. I laid down the acoustic guitar and my vocals to a million times until I had a perfect take of what I wanted to sound like. Then when I was comfortable with all those, then we added the drums. So Brian May, he came in and added drums.
Brian May.
Then,
of Queen.
Yeah, of Queen. Not of Queen. But
did Eddie Van Halen show up too? I mean,
look, we don't care if we get sued by Queen.
So then once the drums are laid down, then that gave me a whole new thing. So also did all the mixing and everything. So I was mixing all the guitar and vocals. So that I kind of mixed those together. Then when I got the drums, I started mixing those together. Then when I had the drums and all that mixed together like I wanted it, then I had Zeb come over, lay down the bass. Then I mixed him in with, and then once that sounded good together, then we had Ryan come in and Garrett, and then Aaron, and they laid down, lead guitar tracks, and I mixed all those together. And then at the end, Craig came in, we mixed him in, and then, so by the end of it, I'd probably listened to these tunes, I don't know how many times.
So
10,000 times.
So you're doing that, as the person who's building this, and like you say, you hear each song 10,000 times, a whole bunch just in each recording, and then the mixing and the mastering. By the time it's over, you start with your guitar and your vocals. You build all this around it. When it's when you get to those final stages, once there's the icing over there with Ryan and even the cherry on top, right?
Craig adding the
with Craig.
Yep.
So at that point, do you listen to it and go, I want to redo my vocals now because I hear it different, or do you just stick with the original? Because I could see where once everything's built around it, you start hearing it different.
I think after you've heard it that many times, you have to be happy with it because there's a reason why you didn't change it before that.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Touché, pussycat.
I will deal with any of things I didn't like on this one, or things that maybe I thought we could improve on the next one, which we're already working on. So.
There you go. Oh man, love to hear that. Already working on it, man.
Well, now that we've done it on our own, we can do it again on our own.
These guys don't care if NASA gets defunded. They don't care about SpaceX. These are the poor, dirty astronauts.
You should ask Ryan a little bit about the conditions of the recording that we had in the basement.
I'd love to talk about the recording session in the basement.
We'll start with black mold.
Well, keep in mind it took us 12 months to record this album. So.
Right.
Yeah,
that was a full year. So we went through different seasons, and each season had its own thing. But when we started, we down there in Matt's base. It's just Matt and I, and we're having a chit chat, and we're listening to the tune. I'm saying, okay, man, I think I can roll with this. I think I got an idea. I'm gonna do a run through dry, don't record it.
Yeah.
And then when I was ready to track, I was like, all right, man, let's track. He goes, all right, man, sick. Let me turn this heater off real quick. Because there's this hum that just happens the whole damn time.
Yeah, while we're recording, you have to turn the furnace off.
So, so I'm like, okay, let me get my hat on and my scarf real quick, and let me just give me like 5 minutes, and I'm sitting there rubbing my hands together.
So as we're recording, the heat is slowly, because it's in the dead of winter, so it's like freezing, but we're getting great takes.
Yeah. So we kept doing
I'm like, Ryan, we can do it. After this next take, we'll turn the heat on for a little bit longer.
Right. And vice versa. In the summertime, the warmer months, I was like, let's hit it. And he goes, all right, man, let me turn the air conditioning off real quick.
It's like a sweat box.
Yeah, get rid of the hum, and then it turns into a sauna. So you got all kinds of all kinds of emotions on this record.
Yeah. When I was doing my tracking, it was basically the dead of winter when it was the coldest, and let's just put it this way: in between tracks, I was putting gloves on.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got the freezing cold in the winter, the sweating in the summer, and in the fall, the neighbor's dog Cody won't shut up.
But it was
every track.
It's tough to turn him down.
But it was so very convenient. It's just right downstairs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
So I'm looking at your.
There's been some times during that year where I really questioned, like, geez, why? But I'm glad it took that long because I was really listening and learning a lot about how I wanted to mix it and EQ and how I wanted it to sound. So it kind of gave us a lot of time to breathe and work on it quite a bit, Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I'm looking at your USB drive that you handed me.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering which folder I should get into here. Because there's one that's like a final mix, and then there's one that just says album.
Probably the album. Yeah.
Final master, I should say.
It'll just say album. That should have MP4s.
Gotcha.
And
Go to the one that says private photos.
Yeah.
the private.
Don't hit the one that says for Matt only.
Well, to be honest with you, I was going to say rest in peace to your father.
Oh, thank you.
Because I see the funeral photos here. I'm not looking at them. I just see the file.
Thank you.
Yeah. Piggyback a little bit.
I would just go to the very first track if you're going to play any of these. And let me just say, I don't know. I've complained about this. I'm like, where's all the rock band? Where's all the rock and roll? Where's all the original local stuff? This first tune, I just love it because it hits. It's just a rock and roll tune. I mean, it's to me, I kind of imagine this as like a J.J. Cale kind of groove. But man, when Ryan starts playing guitar on this, it's just there's no one else who can play like him. I don't know what else to say. But this is original, local
There's a
rock and
reason
roll
he's
music.
known as the Southpaw Shredder.
Yeah.
Southpaw Shredder.
And just to make sure I got the right one, On My Way Back Home.
Yes.
That's right.
And he did this in one take.
Okay.
Yeah, I did all of it. All the tracks I did in one take. It was no punch-ins, no edits, no nothing.
We had a lot of pressure. Brian May's standing right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
And just to piggyback, what Matt was talking about, trying to get a live feel without actually being able to do it, since circumstantially we had to record in that way. And this was also unintentional, but I did everything in one take. And it gives it a feel, undeniably. It's more organic, and you can sense it.
So when you say one take, like first try ever, that's probably not what we're talking about. Like over time.
Yeah,
when you finally go to lay down your track.
Yeah, maybe I should correct myself. It's a through take.
Yeah. Right.
There were many takes,
Yeah.
but each one was recorded from start to finish with no punch-ins or
Okay.
edits or funny business.
The first song definitely was like that, but there's a couple tunes where he had done a couple things. So if I was looking at the solo, I may have edited a couple little things here or there. If I wanted something that and I may not have said anything, but like if I loved a part of like this,
we can start a band fight right here, bro.
But when we're listening, this first one was definitely all the way through.
It was the first take
Yeah,
of
it
the
was cool
first
shit.
session, and we stopped it and we were like,
And then I
that's
listened
gotta be
back to it,
you know?
and I'm like, I called him, and I'm like, man. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, one thing I'm thinking is before you did this one take wonder thing, did you have to operate on someone?
I don't remember, man. I might have been in a room earlier that day, but
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
You believe Matt did that to him, to Ryan, man?
Yeah.
Like he totally just took his stuff out like that. I can't believe he would do that. I mean,
He's trying
you
to
gonna
start a
take
band
that? Are you
He
gonna
gave
take
me
that
the
from him?
liberty- He gave me liberties.
Hey,
He gave me
hey,
liberties.
I did. I gave
Hey,
him
Matt,
complete
stand
control.
up, stand up for yourself as the leader, man. But Ryan, I wouldn't take that if I was you. I would really get on him.
I mean, the producer gets artistic control.
That's right.
If I can get these guys to fight, it's gonna be awesome.
Pigpen has built a claw outside of the studio that he's hoping to have poor dirty astronauts battle in.
Oh,
That would be awesome, like a Thunderdome,
well, Ryan runs I don't know how many miles a day, so he's definitely got the advantage as far as the.
Well, and there's actually going to be like some shivs and stuff, and he can like slice you up good. So like
For sure. And he's not going to be bothered by the blood.
Thunderdome,
No.
Thunderdome with the poor dirty astronauts, man. Like
dude.
We need to get a belt going or something.
Remember Tina Turner? She was called the Acid Queen in that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
So because Matt has done just a great job of setting the song up, let's just get right to it.
Let's do it.
Let's
man.
play
Let's
the
do
song
it.
from Poor Dirty Astronauts from the new album, Outside In, On My Way Back Home. with the latest chart topper from the four dirty astronauts on my way back home right here on 107.1 FM, the Big Z. Wanted to give you a real...
Yeah, that was awesome.
Appreciate it.
What do you guys think?
Man, so right off the bat, that J.J. Cale feel, it had a little ride me high kind of thing. You know, it did definitely have a J.J. Cale feel to it, and you know, as a local reason that J.J. Cale is someone that we all know, really. Bonnie Bramlett, born right here in Alton, Illinois, introduced J.J. Cale to Eric Clapton and said, hey, man, you should be playing this guy's song. And J.J. was just some guy, just playing, out in bars and stuff. And next thing you know, we all know who J.J. Cale is. And, so Miss Bonnie still lives in Granite City right now.
Yep.
Living down there in Granite City. And Eric Clapton says she's his best friend.
For sure.
So,
For sure.
That's awesome.
There's just something about the rhythms of his tunes
the
and
grooves.
the grooves
Yeah.
and the simplicity of sometimes of the movement of what's going on.
It is
Just
so
slight,
hard.
subtle changes that really just makes
They sell
feel
it.
good.
It's the eyebrows, man.
Yeah,
It gives it
yeah.
character because it is so hard to write a simple song
Yeah.
and make it interesting. Because all the fun, simple grooves have been taken with those, with G, C, and D. And so
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you see somebody who takes a very simple progression and makes it interesting,
Yep.
and does something unique, or something that you go, oh wow, that's cool. And JJ does that over and over again, and it's his grooves. It's these rhythms that he finds that
Yeah, heck yeah.
and they all sort of have this feel, this road sort of feel.
And you
to
want to
them.
have that because, like, when you're playing live shows, you want people to kind of be up and feeling it and
Grooving.
go out and dance if they want. So like a lot of the focus of this album, like a lot of the tunes are upbeat and kind of move a lot, and a lot of things going on because we kind of wanted to match how we play out live. So like a lot of these songs, I wanted to be that way, so that because when we perform live, then it's also exciting and fun and jamming and feels good too.
So next comment
Yeah.
is simply fine job. That sounded good. The recording's good. I mean, in this day and age with modern equipment, it's easy to get that crystal clear, crisp
not.
thing. What we couldn't get with four tracks. What we couldn't get
know
with
what you
four
mean.
tracks
Yeah.
back in the day. You don't just. It's not just plug and play, but to cultivate what you've done here. It's not, I understand the hours that does go into getting a sound like that, because you could hear everything. You could hear the individual tracks. They didn't feel smashed together at the end, where it's just let's just take some compression at the end and smash this together to give it this smoothed out sound. It sounded, there were a lot of round edges on that, where it did sound nice and smooth, but it didn't. A lot of times I feel like people use sort of compression as a crutch at the end to smooth it all out, but it gives it this.
Yeah,
It takes the separation away.
Yeah,
It takes the separation away from the instrument.
And even now, though, the problem is, like, whenever you send your music out and it goes out to YouTube and Spotify and all these, because if you want your music to be able to be available and a lot of people to be able to access it, you've got to put your music on these, these platforms, and they automatically add compression to it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So the files we have are the MP4s, like, straight from Miles, but
So a good piece of advice is to probably upload your song to YouTube and listen to it privately, just to see how
just to
much
check.
YouTube
you may not be able to
smashes it.
know. Yeah, I guess you could.
So here's another.
Because I was shocked after we uploaded our stuff. I'm like, this does not sound like what we just had here.
Yeah.
And you don't know that till you do it.
True.
Here is another reason to upload it privately in advance. If you upload your CD when it's done, but you haven't released it yet, and you say, hey, you put it in these services, but then you say, we're not going to release it till this date.
Sure.
From the time you upload it to the date of release, it's finding playlists that this belongs on. And so by the time the release date hits, it's already in all these playlists instead of starting at that date.
Now, I don't think you can listen to your song if you upload it to Spotify before everyone else.
Yeah.
You can do
People
that
do
on
that.
YouTube,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you can do
There's
that.
a guy, I talked to a guy, he said his dad was listening to it, like he posted something and his dad listened to it, like had a, subscription or whatever, and he just left it on all night long, and they blocked him because they thought he was an AI, they thought it was a bot, basically
wow.
promoting
Yes.
his, music or whatever.
So that's a whole new thing
But
that
if you-
Spotify's.
If you go to Bandcamp, though, you can download our album, and it's the,
Exact same
Exact
as
same
what you
as what we
uploaded.
uploaded,
So
yeah.
they don't compress
and if
anything.
you go to
there.
Bandcamp, they don't compress anything. They just take the files that you give them. So that's a good way to.
Yeah, for
and then
sure.
also the artists get, more of the
Yeah, for
money
sure.
for it too.
For
So
sure.
You don't get anything from the other stuff.
And Bandcamp actually promotes their site. In other words, they'll send out things on email that says,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, this is Bandcamp Friday" or whatever, and so kind of alerts people, "Hey, go check it out today."
And I know in the modern day, like you're talking about with the streaming and everything, the MP3s and all this, there are bands that do multiple mixes of a release. Well, this one is for the MP3s because you mix it where you get the best sound out of an MP3. Well, now this one's for the WAV files. Ooh, we're gonna do vinyl. Let's.
I think you're really lucky just to be able to get someone to actually go and listen to an entire song.
Yes.
For sure.
And so
Amen.
for that reason, a lot of stuff that we'll put on, Instagram or Facebook and or all the other things, there'll be little clips just to give people a preview because that's really they look at it really quick and maybe I like that, but just it's really hard, to get someone to go and really.
Yeah.
The hook.
Everybody's got that 30-second time span.
And hopefully, what happens is if people come and see us play live, then maybe they would be more
Engrossed, yeah.
and want to go check it out.
And
so.
you could do that on June 26th at the
you can.
Stagger again, your home stomping ground, and that's
yes.
the official release party,
Correct.
the full release party
Yeah.
for Outside In.
Yeah, and we'll have a full band for that.
You got merch too. You brought
Got
us
merch.
a T-shirt. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So have you been investing in some merch? You got new stuff to get out, or is this the
Forever, we've just we haven't had merch, and now we just went all in on merch. We got shirts, we got CDs. So I said we got stickers. I mean, might as well go all out.
For
So.
sure. And you guys, people may not know this because you guys do play out quite a bit. It's all original
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
every time you play.
Yeah.
Every time.
So, and that's hard to find places.
And that sometimes makes it very hard to get to book gigs. And
Right.
a lot of times, if the gigs we'll play, it'll just be for exposure or to just really to get together with our friends who did this album and play the music. We're not really even making hardly any money off of it.
Right.
So like we'll put it out there. For example, the venue here in Alton, the
Conservatory.
outdoor place.
Oh, yeah.
They were asking for, hey, you got
Night
bands.
market.
I
Yeah.
submitted all our stuff.
There you go.
So, but if no one, it's just it's hard to find spaces too where you can get a full band and play. Like we want to play for 3-4 hours. We've
I'm
got
glad
tons
you-
of material. We get 3 albums and we're working on the next one. So
I'm
it's
glad
like,
you brought that
we wanna
up.
do it.
We've mentioned it a couple of times that the Alton Amphitheater has
Yeah.
opened up to anybody. You can submit your stuff to them and possibly get a gig out of that. So
Put in a good word for us.
it is too late to submit your stuff to Rock the Hop. So Big
Yeah.
Ben. And hopefully we're going to get some band names here soon so we can get somebody in here.
Can I mention one other show we have
Absolutely.
coming up?
Yes, for sure.
We're playing at this place in St. Louis called Heavy Anchor.
Okay, yeah.
And it's on Friday, July 24th. We're playing with a band called Surtsey, and then also Garrett Ranji is opening up. So, and then he'll be joining us to play with the Poor Dirty Astronauts that night too.
That's
So,
July 24th.
July 24th. The
At the
doors
Heavy
open
Anchor?
at 7, and the show is from 8 to 11.
And you can search for Poor Dirty Astronaut on Facebook. Is that the best place? Where else?
PoorDirtyAstronauts.com.
There you go. There you go.
And that has all the photos, videos, links to all of our everything.
Upcoming
Music
shows.
Obviously, you're talking about moon landing photos
Oh yes, definitely.
for sure.
All the real ones and fakes.
Right.
None of them are AI generated.
So, need to take just a minute to do what our sponsors love us to do. Halpin Music Company, where you can get an alto sax, just like Matt plays,
To give one.
and you can take lessons with your alto sax. or your ukulele. I mean, whatever you want to purchase there. And they've been with us now going on 10 years. So we got to love Halpin Music for supporting local music. And we love the sexy Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance because, well, he's sexy. I mean, and he's our sponsor. So that's a great thing. And then, of course, we have to mention our new sponsor, The Mill from Granite City, where you can see the Pyromaniacs on Friday night. That is a Def Leppard tribute band. And it's at 8 o'clock at the Mill in Granite City. And, I recommend Wednesday nights going down to Civic Park in Granite City and enjoying their music in the park, which is right there across from the Mill. And I had the fortune last night of seeing the Broken Hipsters, which includes the bassist Dave Toretta. And Dave Toretta is a lot like Bonnie Bramlett, Pigpen, because
legend.
all the musicians know who Dave Toretta is, but you're probably not going to find him on social media.
Right.
It's just he's one of these guys that has been recording forever, and he spent 20 years with Chuck Berry. The last 20 years of his life, and I'm just scraping the surface. Mr. John Mondine has been over there recording with him. As a matter of fact, the Soulard Blues Band is a project he's working on now, and Steve Scorfina.
I was getting ready to say, I just talked to Scorfina last week, and Toretta came up, so they've been working together too.
And Dave Toretta is pumped. He loves Alton, and he is pumped to come back to the show, and he's going to tell us all about his experiences with Chuck Berry. So we're going to get to dig into that story because the Poor Dirty Astronauts may not have checked out all our shows, but we're convinced that this is the home of rock and roll. And the reason is because Chuck Berry on New Year's Eve 1954 was called upon by this jazz legend Johnny Johnson to fill in for his possibly alto sax player. I don't know what
It was
type
a
of sax-
saxophone player.
It was a
of
saxophone
some type,
player.
yeah.
He had a stroke. It's New Year's Eve, so they called on this kid Chuck Berry. Now, right there, you've got the blues, jazz, all combining at one time. And Chuck played the guitar like I'm ringing a bell. Now, that's what a rock star does. Wrote all his own songs. He didn't steal them like that Elvis guy did.
Well,
Just
Johnny
saying.
Johnson wrote a lot of those songs on piano, and Chuck Berry took them, transposed it onto guitar.
Every lyric ever written was written by Chuck Berry. So,
Johnny B. Good was not written by Chuck Berry.
well,
It was a Johnny Johnson song.
was a Johnny Johnson song, but a lot
Chuck-
of the lyrics Chuck wrote.
Yeah. See, this was a fight. This was actually a fight in the law in the courts between Johnny and Chuck, because
probably.
Johnny says, "I wrote him," and Chuck's like, "Yeah, but I put my name on him."
So we got
No
that
kidding.
same old, so more rock and roll proof right there. He battles for his songs.
Right.
That's all right, Mama. We know who wrote that. It
You-
wasn't Elvis.
But you got Ike Turner right down the road here, where distortion first comes from. First recorded distorted guitar. First in rock in '88. I mean,
And we always
it all happened right
already
here.
mentioned Bonnie Bramlett.
Yeah.
who,
I think it happened in Washington Park, is where rock and roll. No, I don't.
Well, the story I read was East St. Louis. We're going to have Junior on from the NGK band, who is from East St. Louis, and he'll be able to tell us more about that. And like
Nephew?
I say, Dave Toretta is going to tell us all kinds of stories. But I want to get to the list, Pigpen, because we tell the story a
real
lot.
quick, before you jump into that, I got a question for you about that list. You brought up the Pyromaniacs.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if they're going to do the one-arm drummer or the two-arm drummer for that
That's-
particular.
If they want to be authentic, I think
That's why you
because-
go down to the mill and check it out. I mean,
well-
you could tribute early Def
Yeah.
Leppard, or you could tribute
Yeah,
later
well, and,
Def
and,
Leppard.
and I'm wondering which one, because I saw
mean-
the one-arm drummer. He was impressive.
My favorite Def
Did you hear
Leppard.
that they re-recorded all their tracks so they could get the royalties? So
See?
if you listen to Def Leppard now on Spotify,
Yeah.
it's new tracks.
new
It's
tracks,
not the
yeah.
originals that you
Wow.
heard.
Because they
Wow.
didn't own those originals. Yeah.
See, that's smart.
I get So
Well,
much of
sorry, I didn't mean to
rock
be
and-
Cliff
no,
Clavin.
so much of rock and roll decided in the court systems. It's
Oh,
crazy.
for sure.
John
And-
Fogerty got sued for sounding too much like John
himself.
Fogerty.
And some people just ignore trademarks.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know who that
absolutely.
is. But yeah,
Well, it's done to
so
pick
just for the record, my favorite Def Leppard song is "Wasted." That's an early one. Anyways, Mad Bailey's down at the Flock on Friday night from 6 to 9. We got Anthony and Annie, 1:30, and the BC Homegrown, 7 o'clock at Fast Eddie's. We got Shotgun Creek playing the VFW on Friday night in Alton from 7 to 10. Soulshine Groove out there at Bakers and Hale from 7 to 10. Captain Geach in town with his Shrimp Shack Shooters. He'll be out there at the Roper's Regal Beagle in Godfrey. We got 120th Annual Betsy Ann Picnic, 4:30 with burgoo soup always. We got the Little Egypt Show and Carnival and Flip the Frog, 7 to 11 at the park in Brighton on Friday night. City Heat at the Moose from 6:30 to 9:30 in Wood River. Drew Lance up at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville from 6 to 9. We got the Array Band at the Grafton Pub from 7 to 11. We mentioned the Pyromaniacs down at the Mill in Granite City. Vinyl Hour, that's Lanny and Julie, 7 to 10 at the Neighborhood Social Club in Granite City. And I'm drawing the blank on the other guy that makes Vinyl Hour, and we know him too, but drawing a blank, sorry. Money Shot, 9 o'clock at Backstage in Edwardsville on Friday. Strangers at Big Daddy's around the corner from 6 to 9. Binbo City Shuffle at the Stagger Inn from 5 to 8. That's the happy hour at Stagger Inn, right?
Yep.
Correct. Yes, sir.
And they vary it. There's certain nights they start at 7, but most of the time it's 5 to 8, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Except for when they do like open mics on Wednesday and Sundays. Those are like 6 o'clock starts, if I remember right.
And they've started doing a little later night on Thursdays. They do it like 7 to 10.
That's right. And sometimes that's like songwriter night or something
Correct.
like that.
Yeah, we've done a couple of those. That's cool.
Pretty cool. Are you like affiliated with the Stagger Inn or just...
I live really close. I'm within walking distance, and I kind of have been going to open mic there forever.
Right.
And there forever. So, yeah, it's kind of like a booze church.
You ever go back and listen to one of those cassettes of that Butch Moore recorded you like way back?
He actually gave me one of Craig and I, and I still haven't put it out. I'm going to put it out on YouTube, but it's a set we played back in like 2008 or something.
It's crazy that he's been
he's got
taping
'em.
those open mic nights for 20 years.
He said,
Oh,
you guys,
longer
he
than
goes,
that.
I'm gonna burn this on a CD and give it to you guys. It sounds pretty good.
He's been doing the Sunday nights for like 30 years now.
Yeah. It's- And I know there was one particular Sunday I went up there. I wrote a song just to make my friend Graham Pagano laugh, and I played this. The one and only time I've ever played the song, and I didn't think anybody would ever. And I'm like, wow, he's got a recording of that. I'm sure it was horrible, but it did make my friend laugh, which was the point. So, dude, 30 years of recording open mics and keeping all those tapes
He's the
safe.
man. He's
He's
really a conduit and just a celebration. I mean, he's really someone who's really helped so many people, musicians, songwriters, just people who want to get into music. He's such a great person, and there's not enough that can be said about Butch Moore. He is
intricate part
the
of
godfather
the music scene.
of, what do you want to say, St. Louis area.
He's given a ton
Music.
of musicians their first opportunity.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and he
now
still is. And he
doing
does it
open
all
mics at Sneaky's.
Yep, he
Oh,
does.
yeah.
On
I
Tuesdays, I believe, right?
Right.
Every other
yeah.
Tuesday, something like that.
Yeah. And he's done it at other places over the years. So he's always trying to get a new open mic going somewhere, and mainly in the Edwardsville area. But hey,
On top of that, now that he's retired, he's sometimes playing 6 times a week.
yeah, for sure.
Well, it's a full-time job just keeping old magnetic tapes good for 30 years.
Well, to play sometimes I'm sure he plays 5 nights a week, and then to go on Sunday and have to set all your equipment up again to let other people play. It's just a special person, I think.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Heck yeah.
Also going on Friday night, Power Play at the 1818 Chop House from 6 to 9. Instant Replay at the Moose from 7 to 10. We got the Sacred Sessions featuring Jack Twesden from 5 to 8 at the Sacred Grounds Cafe in Edwardsville. Although I seen that posted, and then I went back looking for it, and it kind of disappeared. That could be the internet. I don't know what happened there, but I seen it at one point, and it was like within like the same time I was on the internet. Like an hour or two later, I was looking for it again. So I don't know what happened there, but
That happens to me all the time. I'm just checking this girl out. Oh, anyway, go ahead.
yeah. Johnny Holes
What's her name again?
and the Well Hungarian, 7 o'clock at the Glentennial. That's 100 years of the Glen Carbon Homecoming on Main Street. near the Covered Bridge on Friday night. Sisters of the Canyon. I think I know what canyon they're talking about.
Laurel Canyon.
Yeah. 7 to 11. That's where they filmed the fake moon landing.
Laurel Canyon.
Supposedly.
Interesting.
Yeah, Lookout Mountain.
I heard they had enough psychedelics, they just willed that thing into heaven and just give us a video. There it was.
Oh, we got the
Space
5th
Odyssey looks
anniversary.
really good. Sorry.
Oh, no. that's
Space Oddity.
Sorry about that. 5th anniversary of the Cheers Band, 4 o'clock at the Unwind Lounge, where you can listen to music and get a massage. We got the behavior intervention at the Brussels Township Park, 7 to 10, and Ultraman's 40th anniversary with Whoppers Taste Good.
Nice.
They're still around,
I
Pigpen.
can't believe it.
And
That's
Modern
awesome.
Angst. And that's at Foo Bar in St. Louis. Whoppers Taste Good is a band we played with way back,
my
right,
gosh.
Pigpen, who threw food at the audience.
They would throw Whoppers at you and stuff to be like, hey,
Pizza.
You know, like, you're hungry. So it's like, awesome. Yeah.
So there
I
you
got
go.
you Whoppers. Ultraman, 40 years. Wow.
Yeah,
Has it really been that long?
it has been.
Yeah,
Then,
I know Rob, man. He used to hang out when Blackfast was going on. And
Yeah.
he's the greatest dude.
You talking about the
Ultraman?
Great Toad?
Yeah.
You talking about the Great Toad?
No, he's talking about Ultraman.
Yeah, I'm talking about Ultraman.
Yeah, see, because
Ultraman.
you probably don't remember, but Ryan was in several bands the last time we talked to him. Not all of them are still going. One was Blackfast. One was a Gorge. No longer either one of those.
No.
How about Thorax?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
still
quite
going.
active. Yeah.
Right. Not
We're-
quite as active as Poor Dirty Astronaut. But
Not quite as active as this outfit, no, but still very active.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you know.
So there you go. On
We
Saturday,
we will
sorry.
don the astronaut outfits every now and again for special occasions.
Man, I
It's
love
just
it.
a fishbowl they put on their head. That's it.
I love it.
It's a
when you
full
got-
uniform.
Now we got the full suit.
They're certified.
They're orange, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's better for the radiation.
Exactly.
The Van Allen belt, which you can't go through. But
They're just, Craig got him some old hazardous waste costs.
It's really good for the skeletal girth.
on Saturday in the River Bend, it kicks off at 8 a.m. with acoustic potluck, which is a great acoustic. I mean, if you get a potluck with your acoustic show at 8 a.m. at the Alton Farmers Market. Also, I don't know if you know this, Pigpen, but Mila Duffy is quite the artist.
Yeah?
And she's having her first opening as an artist, not a performing musician.
Okay.
It's called Big in Japan.
No, it's not.
It is. Opening reception with psychedelic
It's a
symphonies.
Tom Waits song.
5 to 9 at Moon. Yeah, she talks about Tom Waits. Definitely inspired by it. Just saying. 5 to 9 at Mooneyham Gallery right here in Alton. And,
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
she does.
Pig
She
in
does
Japan, that's
these
awesome.
portraits of people
Yeah.
as part of her art. And I seen a Jimi Hendrix one that was just amazing.
I heard for this particular one, she makes them all, Asian looking, so it's like an Asian Jimi Hendrix.
Well, actually, she.
Like samurai.
I don't know if any of this is true, but wow, Big in Japan, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
That is. That is. Salute to Tom Waits.
Oh yeah, man.
So we
I
got
don't wanna
Naked
grow
Soul
up.
1:30 and Exit 52 at Fast Eddie's on Saturday. Money Shots doing Bakers and Hale 7 to 10, and for the Betsy Ann Picnic, the 120th Betsy Ann Picnic,
Wow.
we have the Little Miss Betsy pageant, Betsy Ann 4 o'clock, and then the Tracy Inman Band from 7 to 11. In Brighton. Infringement at the Pump House, 8 o'clock in Wood River on Saturday. Midnight Train at Chico's from 6 to 10. Jared Lutz, 6 to 9 at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville. And Trojan, which, Roman maybe, I don't know. 8 o'clock at the Legion
Sure.
in Kane, right?
Feels
Soulshine.
so real.
Cover charge 75 cents and a certain amount at the same time.
They're not the bowling alley? Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. They played the bowling alley, I'm sure.
Bowling
Soulshine,
alley's a good gig.
You know those ribbed ones, if you turn them inside out, it's your pleasure.
for sure.
Family show, I'm sorry.
They all show up in chariots.
Trojans. I love it,
Soulshine
man.
Groove 4 to 7 at the loading dock in Grafton. Case 44, 1:30, and Chaser 7 o'clock at Grafton Pub. Michael Marciano 7 to 10 at the Bloody Bucket, and Toxic Johnny 2 to 6 with Aragon Pigpen 6 to 10 at the Hog
Nice.
Pit in Grafton. That's those teenagers.
Yeah,
Who,
Toxic Johnny, another one of those guys like Butch Moore, man, just does so much for the young musicians,
Yep.
going out of his way to help the kids. So hats off to him.
And these kids, they have a left-handed female guitarist who plays all the solos and sings all the songs, and they're like Crazy Train and Dio and all this real intricate guitar playing.
And she can't even drive yet. No, I don't know if that's true.
I think she's over 16, but I wasn't looking into ages
Please
like
be
you
18.
would.
Please be 18.
Go see her. You'll be probably intimidated like I was. I was like, man, she is just way into this, and this is amazing. Joey Miner, 6 to 9 at Parker's in Bunker Hill. And we got, what else? Schaefer and Sims at Big Daddy's. I think it's Sims. I always wonder if I'm saying that right. It's like Billy Sim. So, yeah, probably.
Either way, they got me out of my DUI. Thanks, guys.
That's for sure. Zach Rayner, 2 to 6 at the Foundry Public House in Edwardsville. And it is Songwriters Night at the Stagger. And on Saturday, we got Cottage Hills Wrestling Alliance, 6 o'clock at the Legion for their monthly show there.
Excellent.
Lana and Julie at the Moose. And let's see, Tessa and Tessa's husband.
I know Tessa's husband, but I don't know Tessa.
That's 7 to 10 at the Cabin in Judy Creek. And then we got the Heaton Brothers, 4 to 6, then a parade, 5 o'clock. And then Just in Time, 7:30 to 11 at the Glentennial. That's a 100-year homecoming on Main Street near the Covered Bridge in Glen Carbon. And there's way more. I'm just barely scratching the surface, Pigpen. How about Saints of New Madrid? Like a Switch and Failure to Be and Trader's Circle at Red Flag in St. Louis. And then Blinded by Stereo, Night Parks, and Front Flip at the Heavy Anchor, where on July 24th you can catch the Poor Dirty Astronauts. But before that, you should go to the Stagger Inn for the CD release of Outside In on June 26th. Where there will be a spaceship. And
I already see one in my mind.
For the young kids, you can put the CD in the Xbox. I mean,
you'll have your moon rocks there, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got a little astronaut guy that shoots lasers. It's pretty cool.
Gizmo, we call him.
Exactly.
Here's a fun fact about Craig. Craig was in a duo with Aaron Cam
Yes,
at
I
one
was. For quite a few years before me and Matt started playing together. Probably about 8 years or so as a duo.
Nice.
And you're like, Matt's way better. I'm going to go again.
Nah, it wasn't like that. We
That's
just-
how I see it, Matt.
we just-
Actually, once Cam, once he got formed the band, I was like, hey, Craig, I
There
play
you go.
guitar too.
Matt stole me.
I've seen you play. I think I could do something.
I mean,
maybe not the same, but
look at Matt.
We could jam.
I mean, he could steal me. I'm just saying.
He stole me years ago. Stole my dignity, at least.
But those guys are those guys are super cool. Sean Rayla. And
Oh
those
yeah,
guys are
yeah. I bumped into Sean just a few weeks ago at over at one of the places in the Grove there, the
such a nice
Atomic
guy,
Cowboy,
man.
I guess it is. But yeah, Sean, all those guys,
Yeah,
good
Sean,
guys.
Andy.
Sean played with us one night in St. Louis.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
he
say,
was,
he
so
was-
he was a poor dirty astronaut
He
for
was
one
a
night.
one-night astronaut.
Nice. He's a good dude. Aaron,
He's cool.
all of those
Yeah.
guys are
Yeah,
nice
Andy.
guys. So there you go, man.
You guys are like Head East. I mean, like everybody's played in Head East at one time. So
Yeah, we'll take it.
yeah, well, you got John Mondine on the list, so that's a pretty good one.
That was a huge surprise.
Yeah.
Zeb was like, "Hey, why don't we just have Mondin come over and lay down the guitar tracks?" I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, I wanted to do the same thing, but he won't answer my phone calls.
He's the best, man. He's
Was
awesome.
that the which release was that? Was that the first?
1 foot forward. on
Yeah,
that.
the first one.
Nice.
So this is your third release then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And 3 is a magic number.
Yeah, and how many songs on this? Like 10?
Nine tunes, and like I said, it's about a little under an hour.
Which
Number
is 3
9,
cubed, so
number
that's
9,
like double magic.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
And
Is
keep
that magic?
in mind, there's only 9 tracks, plays for about an hour, but these are like almost the condensed versions, because if you come out and see us
Yeah, we
live,
play a little,
They're-
stretch them out a bit.
sometimes
They're elastic.
You know,
sometimes we'll be like 4 songs in, and we usually play for an hour a set, and I'll look down and it's like we have 5 minutes left.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about it earlier before we. I know it's already like top of the hour, but I'm all about breaking the rules here. So we talked about it a little bit earlier. You know how you want to play 2-3 hours. You don't want to. And as an original band, the gigs that you get offered the most are like festivals and things where you have an hour. I mean, as soon as you're warmed up, they're like, get off. You're like, but I brought all my stuff down here, and I just got warmed up, and I'm finally ready. And it is hard to find as
You
an
take
original
what you
band.
can get until you don't have to. Until like I feel like we just keep doing what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
We just keep the momentum going, keep making this music, keep loving it, and eventually I think we'll be able to do what we want, But like until then, I mean, you got to do it, man. You got to, you don't.
I'm going to tell you the
I mean, it's
secret to
definitely
it.
tougher. It's definitely tougher as doing all originals for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It limits you as far as like places that want you to play.
Which reminds me,
But we'll
didn't
try
I
to throw
see-
we'll try to throw a cover here and there, like most bands when you see them live.
Yeah.
So
I seen you guys playing at Sam's Last Chance. So that's another venue open to
Yep.
original music?
oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been very supportive since they
Nice.
opened up.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah, so there's a couple places now in Edwardsville. Is there any place else that I know I see you guys in Edwardsville quite a bit, but for the bands out there that are looking to get their original music, I mean, that's a short list.
Yes,
We got
it
the
is.
conservatory in town. They love to do that there.
Yeah, we've played there a few times. That's a great place. Because they have a really nice stage, and they have their own PA and setup. So
Very cool,
but
very
it-
cool venue.
it's a challenge. I mean, you just have to keep doing what you're doing until people want to hear you play.
Right.
I mean, that's really the bottom line.
Well, you said you're just going to keep doing what you're doing till you can get where you do what you want. I'm going to give you the secret.
Yeah.
Just do what you want now. That's
Yeah,
what I do.
that's what we're
Just
doing.
do what you want all the time and don't worry about the consequences. That's that's adult stuff, bro. Let's keep it light.
I always just say, well, that's a Mama's Pride song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why he didn't recognize. Only say that because Pat Liston told us a story when he was in about always saying it was what, Three Dog Night.
Yeah. Whenever they
asked-
would back
when
when
Mama's
they were.
Pride would play an original. So I give Mama's Pride all credit because I mean, how many people probably couldn't tell if it's a Mama's Pride song unless it's Blue Mist, maybe.
And that's what they said about Three Dog Night. They're like, anytime a manager be like, what was that 4th song you played in that set? You're like, oh, it's a Three Dog Night.
Well, it's
no
interesting.
one knows.
'Cause there's
Right.
so much comfort in being able to play something everyone knows. It's
Yeah.
really hard to write original tunes that don't sound corny, that don't sound weird, or something like, what is this? It's got to be something like a groove that someone. We're not recreating the wheel, so I mean, it's got to be a groove or something cool that people
So let
get
me
into.
ask you
and then
this.
Ryan's musicianship while he's playing and everything, so it.
As a songwriter, let me ask
Yeah.
you this, because you brought this up earlier, and I have these questions in my mind, but the thing, this conversation goes on. You
yeah.
brought up that this is a good rock and roll album. That first
yeah.
song that we listened to had a great groove to it. As a songwriter, do you find it hard to write happy songs? Like sad songs, like when you're sad, you're like, oh, damn you, woman,
Yes.
It is hard to write a happy song because when you're happy, you don't stop and think about putting pen to
Well,
paper.
I feel like you have to really, to me, the only advice I would give it, and I don't have whatever, but you have to, what happy songs do you like to listen to?
Yeah.
And listen to those, and
I
if
do.
if you like those, study them. Why do you like them?
Because
what
it's
is it about
reggae.
them? What are they talking about? Yeah, like so.
It is probably.
And it is. and
That's the
it's-
song I
it's-
had in my
it's
head.
hard to
Don't
write it.
worry.
Yeah, don't worry. It's the first song that came to my head.
It's hard
too.
to
I'm
write
like,
something without it being, like I said, corny or sounding.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It sounds like
it's-
20 other songs.
All my
Yeah.
happy songs are corny, but all my songs are corny. So
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm all into corny.
Yeah.
But it's fun to keep trying to
Keep
do
trying.
it, keep improving, trying to and you surprise yourself hopefully.
Well, and when you are really doing it strictly because you enjoy it, because you're trying to get better at this, not so somebody will look at you and go, "You are so creative. How do you do it? I just don't think that way." No, you're doing it because this is fun. This is how you like to spend your time, and you're trying to cultivate a sound or a feeling out of this piece of audio that you're doing with other people, which is so much different than talking, where it's just up to me. You know,
I have to admit, while I was we were in the process of doing these recordings and I was mixing all this, I just feel like not only it was exciting to be a part of it and know that we're doing something, but it's like my life was better because of it.
Yeah.
Like I just felt better. I felt like excited about things. It drives you. It gives you a purpose. It makes you get up and like I got my wife's working tonight, so I got a whole night where the house is. I can turn off all the heaters and everything. And I can record something. So,
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. But it's like, it's something that for me anyway. It's like it's building. It's like I feel like, and after we've done it, it's like a bug. You know, you want to just keep doing it because it does. It gives you a reason to.
You got the
keep
bug
going,
too?
man. Keep going.
I got the bug. It's why my stool's all loose.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's like you almost get the track done, then the refrigerator kicks on, and you're like, "Oh, I forgot to unplug the refrigerator."
If it's a perfect track, you just leave the refrigerator in.
I've recorded with my heat pump, my AC running, and I don't notice it until I listen back. I'm like, "What is that buzz?" Oh, that's right. I was comfortable.
We did an a cappella group once in the studio, and you could hear the birds chirping outside while they were singing a cappella.
That's cool. That's cool.
Little birds.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's trucks that drive by.
Exactly.
There's trying to record, like if it's a thunderstorm that's coming through, like every time I would have a free night, a big storm would come through. I'm like, oh God, I have all this time. I just can't because it's just gonna. I would get in there and be like, no, I can't do it tonight.
Unless you're going to do a rain song.
But I don't know.
Oh, man. Great talking to you guys again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you
appreciate
so much.
it. Thank you guys so much for supporting, local music and having us back. When I got your text, I was surprised and super happy that you remembered us.
Well, we love to push benefits and original music to the top of the list. Try to get that stuff on because we know how difficult and how much benefits matter to the community, how difficult it is for original bands, and so.
Well, we really appreciate you helping us out, man.
Thank you so
Keep
much.
putting out the originals, and you come back more.
And this album, like if you could hear from that tune, it's a drive. You get in your car, and if you got a long drive,
Outside in.
Our buddy Eric Ang, he's like, man, I had the CD, and I had a long drive to Chicago, and I listened to the whole thing, and that's probably the best way to do it is
For sure.
on a drive. Or
Nice. I would suggest do that, and maybe some psychedelics. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, maybe not if you're driving. But if I'm driving, it's better off.
Definitely check out the release show June 26th at the Stagger Inn again. Well, where you guys will be very comfortable. It'll be just like being at your house.
Being at home,
right
man.
on the street.
Yeah. So
Kind of our home base.
There you go, man. Once again, that is the Poor Dirty Astronauts. Right in the studio with us, we got Craig, Matt, and Ryan missing in action. Zeb and Brian May of Queen. Brian May not of Queen.
And Garrett Ranji, and also Aaron Brown.
There you go, man.
And Billy Bates and Johnny Be Good and
Sure, man. And
Charlie
Bates too.
Charlie
Let's not
Manson
forget
was in the
him,
band
man.
at one time.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Let's not forget the great Nat King Cole. There you go, man. It's the Poor Dirty Astronauts. Check them out. You can find them on all social medias, but mainly you can find them at poordirtyastronauts.com. Check out everything they got. Go check out the live show at the Stagger Inn on the 26th. Thanks again, guys, for coming down.
Thank you.
Big thanks
you,
to
sir.
our sponsors, Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Boris of Macias and German Insurance Company. Thanks to everybody who's still listening.
And the mill.
And the mill. And the mill.
That's right.
The soon-to-be legendary venue.
Yes.
The mill. Go to the mill, themills.com, I believe, and you can check
Mill
out.
Events.
What is it?
Millevents.com.
There you go, millevents.com, and you can check out the shows that you want to make sure you don't miss. So big thanks to everyone who tuned in and stayed with us this long, guys. Whew, we did it. Everybody, it's going to be a nice weekend. Everybody be safe out there. Make sure you get out and support local music and art.
It's the top of the hour and time for the news on WBGZ All.